Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. We are going to be talking about Nordic classic, turning a normal side of salmon into something packed full of elegance, finesse, and flavor. I'm talking of course about the Nordic classic Gravlax. Okay, this is a simple recipe, it requires no smoking, no cooking, and it is fantastic for your next brunch, for your next dinner party, or just plainly eating some baguette with cream cheese. It also requires a lot less money to make, well, opposed to buying it from the grocery store, where I find I'm spending a small fortune for a small amount. This is definitely something that you can do very easily, just requires a little bit of time and attention, and not even that much at that. So please, if you're interested, follow along, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, it would really help a lot. And let's get to curing, huh? Let's get to the curing!
Alright, so first of all, we're starting with dill. This is going to be a classic in Gravlax, traditional Gravlax that is. You can also substitute other herbs. I would obviously chop the ends off, the stems. Some people say it adds bitterness. I don't think so. I think a little bit of stems is just fine. Chop that up as fast as possible. Again, you can see a little bit of stems in there. Again, I don't think it adds bitterness. I've done this numerous of times. Make sure it's nicely chopped up. And then, of course, clean up your section. It's very important when working with fish and herbs. So make sure your sides are clean, you're cleaning up it, and then you're going through again and hacking up herbs. Next, two important essential ingredients is going to be salt and sugar. Okay, I would say about for a side of salmon is 100 grams of sugar. That's going to be 3.5 ounces. And for the salt, it's going to be 250, which is 9 ounces. You're going to be adding in your dill. I usually go for a full bunch of dill if you're doing a full fillet of salmon. If you're doing a half fillet of salmon, you can go about doing half the amount that I've already said. You need to be making sure you're just mixing it really well. You want all the dill to be incorporated in with the sugar and salt. And little tip on the side here, Scandinavians serve Gravlax with baked potatoes and vinaigrette of dill, honey, and mustard, typically. So if you want to do a typical Scandinavian dish, you can go about doing that. I also enjoy putting a little bit of pepper in there. It's not actually essentially needed in a Gravlax, but I think it adds flavor, which I kind of like. Then you want to be getting a cutting board and your salmon. Now, I always like putting you can put it on a cutting board, you can put it on a plate. I would put it on something that would dip underneath, because once it's cured for a certain amount of time, it's going to draw out moisture. And it's going to turn very liquidy once you start washing it, when you're ready to wash it. And it's good to have something underneath it to catch that moisture. I added a little bit of tarragon inside of this, estragon, just to add that a little bit extra flavor, which I do enjoy, and I tried it this time. You have to be careful how much you put in. It can be overpowering. But you can really play around with it. There's some people that put blueberries inside of their Gravlax, some people put juniper. And then you just want to be essentially coating the salmon, taking a spoon or taking your hands and just rubbing that cure all over the salmon. Making sure you get all the sides. And patting it gently. I was like getting the edges as well. Tuck it in there with a little bit with my spoon. And then as you can see here, you kind of want to get that edge as well, because that's going to be a thick piece, a thick part of the salmon. So I just want to be taking my spoon and lightly, gently placing just a pile just right in front of it for a time. And try to get as much as I can on. Of course, if you move your salmon, it will essentially fall off, but if you have a little bit on there, that's going to affect the quality. Now this is going to be something important. So you have your fillet and you have the thicker side and then the thinner side. So you want to be pushing a little bit of the cure off to the thicker side, because that's going to take longer to cure. Okay, so you want it pushed up against, and you want majority of your Gravlax cure on the thicker side of the salmon, because what you're going to find is you have majority on the thinner side of the salmon, the tail end, it's going to get way too salty, and the thicker side is going to taste like raw salmon. So make sure you have that leveled out correctly, I would say. And there we have it. We have our nicely coated salmon with pepper, tarragon, dill, salt, and sugar. And then we're going to be placing it on, like I did here. I placed it on, as you can see, it starts getting very liquid, right? This is after, I think, 3 hours of marinating. But you're going to want to wrap it. You're going to want to place it on something that will catch the liquid. And then you're going to want to refrigerate it for, I would say, a minimum of 8 hours. After that 8 hours, you're going to be taking out all the cure. I like keeping a board underneath my sink just to catch anything. You're going to, anything that falls really, and then just taking it away. And then the little bit left, I'm okay with that going down the sink. Right, salt and sugar, that's going to dissolve, and the little bit amount of dill and tarragon is not going to really affect my drains. But you're going to be wanting to really wash that really well. Right, taking your fingers, rubbing along there. Ideally, you won't have any of the pieces left on it. Again, pepper and dill and herbs love attaching themselves to salmon. You're going to want to be pat drying it. This is just a quick demonstration of how essentially to fillet it. You can leave the skin on. Here I'm showing you how to take the skin off. You just go around, take a knife, and very gently go through. You want to, now I would say you essentially want to leave as much, you see how I'm dagging that knife back and forth? You want to kind of avoid that. You want one decisive movement. So I wouldn't say this is actually the perfect description of how to take the skin off of a salmon. I mean, this is okay. You go around and you take the silver skin off. You're not going to die if you eat that. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, if it's just gonna taste as good, but for presentation wise, if you want to take that off, just gently, one slice motions, go through and take as much as you can off. And make sure there's no scales attached, right? So that's gonna be important. Obviously you might want to wash your salmon, flip the board over like I just did. And this is a quick demonstration of how to slice it, okay? Again, it's not so complicated. You take a knife and you gently slice it down, exposing that shiny, meaty, flavorful piece of salmon, which I just love to see. And you just slice it down gently, as thick as you want it, you know? If you want to cut it into cubes and do something with it, you can. It's up to you, your creation, your cooking. Go with what you want.
The end of my video for Gravlax, the Nordic classic. I hope you guys appreciated the video. If you stayed until the very end, I appreciate it. And if you guys do have time, smash that like button. If you want to see more content in the future from me, hit that subscribe button. It would really help my channel. And I hope you guys have a fucking fantastic day. Maybe not swear.